In this episode, I'll be making my first human. Now, I thought humans were supposed to make humans, but I guess that's not an option anymore. So, let's see how this goes. I'm arriving at the Lazarus complex with the human seed that I fetched from Seed Vault Prometheus. It's fragile, so I need to get it into a Lazarus rack pronto. Once it's placed, I'll have to figure out what comes next.
This is the moment. From seed to life, humanity's future rests in your hands. Nourish, guide, and help this new life flourish. This is why we endure. Life takes patience, Caretaker. Allow this new being to flourish at its own pace.
I suppose it's no surprise that Fairy Godmother has something to say, since she's been beaking on me about this since I came online. But this is the culmination of her work, so I guess it's to be expected. Let's hope I don't let her or humanity down. The first order of business is going to be for me to figure out how to keep this seed alive long enough for me to figure out what it is I need to do. And right now it needs water, so let's do something about that. I left this water can nearby last time I was here in anticipation of this, so I'll use that until I can find a more permanent solution. The water infrastructure is on a lower level, consisting of a water purifier and a bunch of seawater pumps. I repaired the purifier and one of the seawater pumps last time I was here, so all I have to do now is connect them to the Lazarus rack and provide them with electricity. That's going to require more of my artistically placed networks of cables to get from one point to the other. I'll begin with the water cables. Okay, the water network is just about done, so it's time to get the electricity going. I'll mirror what I did with the water cables to place the electricity cables. Great, now I'll turn everything on, and then I'll go connect it to the Lazarus rack and replace that water can. As you can see, I'm taking the usual amount of care in where I lay these cables. There we go, working as intended. It's not pretty, but it works, and that's good enough for me. So now it's time to focus on the task at hand, which is to actually make a human, if I can figure out how to do that. As it turns out, there are two basic components. One are memories, of which I have collected many, and the other is nutrients, which I've been making in the food processor, and I've also been collecting throughout my travels. The food processor uses the output from this thing, which is called a soil forge, and I built one on my boat. And I've spent quite a bit of time turning organic material into food components using this machine. I love how it just spits the output onto the floor. I love the idea of eating food made from ingredients that I picked up off the floor. Whatever they're called, they're just as heavy as the organic components they're made from. Let's see what I can make. I'm not sure which nutrients I need, so I'll make a little bit of everything, and then I'll randomly throw it into the Lazarus rack to see what works. That's how I do things. While all that stuff is cooking, I'll take a look at some memories. Memories have traits like adaptability, patience, logic, discipline, stuff like that. And that very much affects the skills that your human will have after they're finished cooking. The humans you make have assigned tasks. I was hoping to be able to make a bureaucrat, but I could not find a memory with a pedantic trait on it, so I guess I'll have to do something else. Instead, I'll use my tried and true method of randomness, where I'll just throw stuff in there and see what turns up. Well, after some fiddling around, I have something called a station roamer here. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds like somebody who can do multiple tasks, and that seems good for a first human, so I think I'll just go with that. I'll throw in as many nutrients as I can to make sure it has a decent life expectancy and things like that, and then let's go for it. Whoa, that's not good. I'm going to have to turn the food processor off. I guess it takes too much power and I can't run it and run the Lazarus rack at the same time. Whew, disaster averted. Nothing to do now but wait. Almost there.
You've brought forth new life. From seed to a living, breathing human. This is the promise fulfilled. This is the culmination of all your efforts. The child must travel beyond our reach, to the stars, where their future awaits.
So that's a human. Is that what they look like now? It isn't like I know. I've never seen one. Well, whatever they looked like before, this is what they look like now. So, what's next? So, let's take a look at them. Fairy Godmother wants me to send this human, who I'll call Alpha, or Alf for short, up into space. But, of course, I'm not going there right away. I have chores to do first. Specifically, I'll make some more nutrients before I take off. And because the food processor is such a power hog, I'm going to put this cool doodad on. This thing will decrease the power consumption at the expense of time. I'll also put in another medium battery, mostly because the food processor is such a power hog. Another thing to think about is that I really can't send Alpha up all by themselves. I mean, humans are social creatures. Alpha will go crazy up there if they have to be by themselves, so they should have a companion. So, I'm going to make another visit to the seed vault before I go to the Exodus station. So I'll repair another Lazarus rack while I have the chance. Oh look, the doodad has charges. I guess that means I know exactly how much I'm going to make before it's time to go. Doodad expended. That's all the nutrients I'm going to make right now, so I guess it's time for the next step. That means going back to the seed vault and getting more seeds. There's all kinds of places I'd like to go up there, but I think I'm going to skip them and be a good little caretaker and do what Fairy Godmother wants me to do for once. I'd already cleared this place out before, so it was actually pretty easy to grab 2 more seeds. I decided to get 2. If I can remember how to get them into the pod. But eventually I remembered. There we go. Seeds acquired. Time to head back to the Lazarus complex. Having done it once before, I realized 2 hours is actually a lot of time to get from one point to the other, so I'm not going to go full tilt boogie this time. I'll only go at 75% of diesel power, or as close to that as I can get, and that will get me there fast enough. Okay, made it back to the Lazarus complex. Let's get these seeds into their respective Lazarus racks. Great. Now let's see what I can do with the resources that I have. I'll probably end up making some more nutrients, if it doesn't kill my power. Looks like I can make a lot of stuff. Let's do it. Looks like human beta, whom I'll call Betty, is starting to look a lot like Alf. This won't do. We can't have 2 of the same thing. So let's see what other options there are. Oh, look, I didn't notice this before. This would have been very useful. Let's see what I can make. Actually, one of the things I think we should have is some kind of medical personnel. So I'll see if I can make one of those. Turns out I can. Okay, let's get started. Betty is complete. Let's see what we got. Betty looks a lot like Alf. Who would have thought? Their skill sets are different, but their physical characteristics look pretty similar. Now that that's done, I'll make some more nutrients, because it's always nice to have nutrients hanging around when you're going to be making humans all the time. It looks like this is part of my job description now. Still, the power situation is something to consider, and if I look on my skill tree, there are a couple of things that I'm going to be able to make shortly that are going to help out immensely. So maybe I'll just put this off until I make another level and then I can make those things. Sorry, Gamma, you're going to have to wait for the next ride. I guess it's time for Alf and Betty to begin their journey. I suppose now's the time to figure out where exactly it is I'm going. The entry in the quest log says that it's in the southeast, but when I look at the map, I don't see anything. All I see is this nav beacon to the southeast. So I guess I know where I'm going next, and it's not the Exodus station. Here I am, nav beacon 32. I know the drill. I have to turn on power, blah blah. But from the looks of things, this is going to be a little more challenging than previous beacons. I better make sure to gear up beforehand, so I'll make a bunch of ammo. I'll make some of my favorite assault rifle ammo, which is Rifle Trace. It uses aluminum and it's really cool. It's like shooting little flashbangs. See? Works really well. I finally cleared enough of the dock so that I can moor my boat. So now let's take a look around and see what's out here. Ooh, diesel. Yeah, that's coming with me. At this point, I'm more concerned about my little humans, Alf and Betty, than I am about looting everything I can find. So I'm going to try and get through here as quickly as I can. Though I will stop for the good stuff. Whoa, look at all those mosquitoes. Jeez, this place is pretty densely infested. Oh, look, more diesel. Mine. There's also power generators here, but I'm not going to repair any of them because I'm not planning on staying here that long. I may come back later so that I can strip it down, which is my usual MO. But for now, I'm just going to activate the beacons so that I can find the Exodus station. Then I'll get out of here. Looks like I'm going to have to go back to the boat for more iron before I can repair this thing. So let's do that. Okay, I'm back. Let's hope one small battery can keep me going long enough. Just getting into the next room means a lot of dismantling. But since that's my favorite thing to do, that's not so bad. Oh boy, an elevator. I'll probably need another small battery, since I'm adamant about not repairing any of the power generators. Let's see what's up above. Okay, here it comes. Let's go. Oh crap! I was not expecting that. Don't want to use a flamethrower on this thing. I gotta change weapons. But it's chasing me. Probably not a good idea to use diesel tanks as cover. I better move. Ooh, it's dead. So the point is moot. Okay, let's dismantle this puppy and then we can see what's upstairs. Almost there. I suppose I should be ready to fight because there's always critters everywhere. Oh, I shut the petrol tank. I'm lucky that didn't happen while I was standing next to the diesel tanks. That room probably contains the nav beacon interface, but I can't get in there because it's on a different power grid from the elevator. I think I saw where I need to turn the power on. I'll have to go back and check. In the meantime, I'll climb up and see what I'm going to need in order to repair the beacon, because I don't carry that stuff on me anymore because I'm always loaded down with critter guts and they're so heavy now. Made it. The stuff I've picked up along the way isn't enough to repair it, so I'm going to have to go back down to the boat and get what I need. Okay, I found the room with the second power grid, so let's get a small battery going here, and then I can activate the beacon and find the Exodus station. Step 1. Repair the beacon. Step 2, power the beacon interface. There were only 2 small batteries in this room, but that should be enough because I actually can store a lot of power right now. So I'll do the rest. There we go. Let's power this thing up and take a look. Wow, there's a lot of stuff on the map. Of course, all I'm interested in right now is the Exodus station, because that's where I want to go next. After doing a few things. First of all, I'm going to dismantle everything that has good loot in it, like aluminum and all the other good stuff. I'll pick up all this petrol that's lying around and is dying to come with me on my boat. Then I'll repair all the diesel tanks and collect all the diesel. There we go. I'll be good to go very shortly. Hold on, Alf and Betty. We're almost there. Just a little while longer.